Welcome to another episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick, PJ Clark, Tate, Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. Another scouting report for you guys. Texas offensive tackle Samuel Cosmi, who just recently opted out of the rest of the season and declared for the draft. We're going to go over his strengths, his weaknesses, where he ranks for us on our boards, player comps for him, and what NFL teams he might fit at the next level. Of course, be sure to follow our Twitter and Instagram at Boom or Bust Draft. We're on YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast as well. Of course, be sure to check out our website as well. We have a full top 50 big board with quotes from each of us and every single prospect in there. And please like and subscribe to the channel as well. So let's go over a background on Samuel Cosmi. Like I mentioned, our big board, he's number 14 overall on the official Boom or Bust big board. Number 2 offensive tackle. 1.0. It will be updated. 1.0.
It's true.
Number 2 offensive tackle behind Penei Sewell. He opted out of the rest of the 2020 season on November 29th and declared for the draft. He's a redshirt junior, 6'7", 309 pounds, former 3-star recruit, number 1,123 overall, and number 104 tackle in 2017. That is really low for a guy who's one of the best tackles in the nation. 3-year starter, 2 at left tackle, 1 at right tackle, second team All Big 12 last year, freshman All-American the year before that, and he had a PFF grade of 90.5 this season, which is currently 8th in the country, 5th best pass blocking grade at 89.4, and the 16th best run blocking grade at 86.2. So Nick, let's start with you. When you watch Samuel Cosmi, what do you like the most?
Well, he's just strong. This guy is, I wrote strong 3 times in the notes. I'm not going to say strong 3 times, but it's basically the big thing that comes up is once he locks a guy up with his hands, no one moves. He's just got you. He's not going to move either. That's just the way it's going to go. He's just going to sit there and he's going to lock you up and you're just not going to do much on that play. And so when it comes to strength, he's obviously got it. His first step impact is great. So when they tell him the run game, block this guy and just like take a step and punch the guy, he's fantastic as that as well. So you need to, I guess, moving to the NFL, find ways to get this guy in inertia spots, basically, in ways he can just, in short situations, use his strength to beat guys, because that's his strength as a tackle right now. Not maybe technique, but just the fact that he can maul people.
Yeah, so his biggest strength is his pass protection. He's one of the best in the nation in pass protection. I played a little right tackle too last year, which is fun, or in 2018, excuse me. But his real strength is his pass pro. It's Texas. They love to pass the ball, as good as Sam Ellinger is, right, guys? So at the next level, that's where his biggest strength is going to be. Sam, you're shaking your head? No Sam Ellinger? Huh?
He's great. Sam Ellinger's a great quarterback.
Great.
I don't know what you're saying. He's a good quarterback.
No, you just said great.
He's a great college quarterback, and I think he has a role in the NFL. I think he has a role in the NFL as a backup.
We're walking.
I have taken this episode and I have changed it to a Sam Ellinger scouting report. Just kidding.
Okay, so much like we talked about. I talked about Liam Eichenberg in our last episode, a guy who I didn't like so much. He's blocking for a scrub in Ian Book. Sam Cosmi is blocking for a scrub in Sam Ellinger.
Oh, come
on. But Sam Cosmi, the biggest thing for me is athletic. 6'7", 309 is what he was listed at. He put on more weight heading into this year. He was listed at 296 last year as a redshirt sophomore, so he's already putting on weight. I think he needs to put on a little bit more, but so athletic, so projectable. As Nick said, the technical side might not be there right now, but he's been a big riser for, I think, all of us this year. A guy that was in like the lower half of the first round conversation, now playing his way maybe into the top 10. As Tate said, no team passes more in the entire country as Texas this year. He's been really damn good at pass protection. Not running the ball a lot in the Big 12, not facing great edge rushers in the Big 12, but he's succeeding with what he has. He's played himself into a really nice position heading into the draft.
Yeah, I also really like Samuel Cosmi. He's a 3-year starter for me, which is great. He's gotten better each and every year, and also he's been good every year. It's not like that freshman year he was terrible. He was decent as a freshman, then good as a sophomore, and then really good this past year. He has good size at 6'7". The average offensive tackle is 6'6". Good arm length as well. And PJ, you just mentioned it, crazy athletic for someone who's 6'7". His movement skills, I'd put probably second in this class behind Penei Sewell, who is an absolute freak. Like Sewell, Cosmi looks like a tight end in space. He actually caught a touchdown last year against West Virginia, and you could not tell that was an offensive tackle running with that football. It was incredible. And Tate, you mentioned too, the pass pro. The pass protecting is great. Probably the best, again, outside of Sewell. He has the agility to keep up with the quickest edge rushers. And he had a number of outstanding reps last year against LSU and Jaguars first-rounder K'Lavon Chaisson. So it's always good because, like PJ, you mentioned, the Big 12, not that many top-tier pass rushers. K'Lavon Chaisson won in the first round, and Cosmi still had some really, really good reps against him. So, PJ, what do you think, though, are Cosmi's weaknesses?
Yeah, so, first and foremost, run blocking, I think, is a little bit more of a concern. We kind of get this first-round guy, and I'm kind of spoiling it for a little later for prediction stuff, but we kind of get this first-round tackle every year that is uber athletic and can either run block or pass block. Mekhi Becton last year, who had a lot of pass protection concerns, none of us were particularly high on. Early returns have us being huge idiots on that one, but as a Jet fan, I'll take it. Sam Cosmi, uber athletic, kind of questioning the run blocking ability, but that's just lack of opportunities. It's not like he's bad. Texas just doesn't run the ball a whole lot. And when it comes to somebody that athletic, you have to get him in a system where you're going to be able to use. I think the Jets have done a really good job with Mekhi Becton, getting him outside on screens, running off that left side. I think, if a team in the NFL wants to make Cosmi make use of that elite athleticism, which is his biggest trait, the technicality really isn't there right now. Do I think he's going to get there? Yeah, definitely, but that's my concern.
My biggest concern right now is kind of his drive, his push. I know Nick said he's kind of a mauler, but for someone who's 6'7", he's only 300 pounds. I know only 300 pounds. Yeah,
initially,
but he doesn't. He doesn't run people over, and I think his push could be, I don't know, maybe lacking. I would like to see him, I don't know, just truck dudes more, honestly. But I don't have the same concerns on the run blocking as PJ does. I know it's Texas and they like to pass, but from what we've seen, especially this year, he's no scrub when it comes to run blocking.
No, I never said he was bad. I said I wanted to see him.
No, you said UDFA, PJ. That's what you said.
That's what we all heard. UDFA.
Okay, sure.
Not as bad as Andre Dillard a few years back, right?
No,
they just did not run the ball. Right?
No.
Well, okay, so I would like to delve a little more into the technique thing we touched on earlier. Just maybe not the most technical sound tackle, and I don't know that it's necessarily that he doesn't know what he's doing. I actually think for all of his athleticism, I don't know that he can't move laterally well. He just looks awkward doing it. It's just very weird. And I think sometimes in the run game when he's trying to slide to one side, maybe to get upfield, he gets caught up in traffic because it doesn't look like he's used to doing it. Sometimes he's slow getting off the beat as going into pass protection, I feel like, and if you're gonna beat him, it's gonna be with speed. So it's maybe not fully a technique thing. I do think he might have some lateral quickness issues, which, depending on who you're talking to, can be dealt with. But it's something that might be a product of the offense. It might be just a product of his body, and how he moves. So that'll be something we might have to see when he gets to the NFL. But that would be my concern for him going forwards.
Yeah, look.
I think to add on to that, I think sometimes he looks hesitant almost. I don't know. He's kind of scanning, looking, waiting to see who he can pick up. And at the NFL, the game's going to be a lot faster, and he might struggle with that going forward.
Yeah, that's a good point. I noticed that too. He has good length, like you guys mentioned, 6'7". PJ, I agree with you though. Got to ask him bulk for me. He's only 309 pounds. The average NFL tackle is an inch shorter at 6'6", but 7 pounds heavier. So Cosmi to me looks like he could add 10 pounds or so to his frame. And you could tell that by the way he loses sometimes. Last year, PFF charted on 14 pressures allowed last year, which is not a lot, which is great, but 6 of those 14 were by a bull rush. So he is susceptible to the bull rush. K'Lavon Chaisson, who's a skinnier edge rusher, also bull rushed him, I believe, 1 or 2 times in the LSU game too, which was kind of eye-opening for me. He gets stood upright a lot. I know, Nick, you mentioned it with the Penei Sewell video, where the tackle is bent back and their back is bent back. Then that happens a lot with Sam Cosmi. I noticed that a lot. Got to have a better anchor and keep his knees bent. The hand placement, I noticed too, is really wide a lot of the times. He's got to get tighter there so his hands don't get swatted away as easily. And balance too. He leans forward a lot in his blocks, and I think he needs to, of course, get back on his knees a little bit. I think he'd be a lot better in that regard. So Tate, give me the bottom line on Samuel Cosmi. Where does he rank for you? A player comp, and what are the team fits you think for Cosmi?
Okay, so I've been kind of tinkering with my board since board 1-0. On board 1-0, I had him at 8, I believe, just simply because there's going to be a team that's going to take a tackle in the top 10, top 15. It's just going to happen. You're not seeing it on a lot of mock drafts, honestly, right now, and I think that's just kind of lazy. I think I have him moving maybe a little down, but I think at the end of the day, he's still going in like the top 15 and maybe even top 10 if a team's really trying to reach. My player comp, always need an opportunity to mention a Ohio State player. Ohio is greater than Michigan, people know. So we're going with Taylor Decker, the Detroit Lions left tackle, long tackle who's good in pass pro and an acceptable run blocker. And I think that's exactly what Samuel Cosmi is. And to last piece here, my team fit, I don't think it's going to happen because I just don't think they're going to be in the area to draft him. But my ideal team fit is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think you slot him in at left tackle next to Marpert. You have Wirfs on the right side. They love to pass the ball.
Slot him at left tackle. Throw Wirfs at left tackle. What
You're
are we
getting rid
doing
of
there?
Donovan
You're already
Smith.
working
Hey,
it
what
right.
the
How
hell,
would
man?
you?
You're getting rid of
Wirfs is-
Donovan Smith too. Penn State great.
Listen,
he older?
we're taking a team that likes to pass the ball and we're putting him in at left tackle, and that's how that's going to roll. Wirfs is playing a lot of right tackle this year.
For Josh Rosen next year? Who's the
Oh,
quarterback?
yes. It's Josh Rosen season, folks. Start the movement. But that's where I'm going. He's currently, I don't know, he's going to go in the top 10 probably. Taylor Decker's my comp, and the Tampa Bay Bucks is my ideal team fit.
Okay, sure. I'll go off of that. I had him at 15 in my last board update. And I had him at tackle 2. I don't think he's going to fall that much. I think somebody, I'm not going to spoil who, but I do think a tackle is going to jump him. Right now, though, I do think that he is my pick. I tweeted this when he opted out. I think he's my pick. There's one guy every year that just goes like higher than we all think he's going to, and I'm never going to be mad at it. That's going to be Sam Cosmi. I'm not going to have him any lower than like 18. He's going to go in the top 10, top 11. I'm going to be okay with it just because of that athletic profile. I think somebody's going to want to take a chance on him. My comp, the exact same measurements as Mike McGlinchey. I think McGlinchey way better technically. Obviously, I think Cosmi's a better athlete coming out. McGlinchey better against the bull rushing at Notre Dame. Cosmi a little bit better than speed. And my team fit is actually the 49ers, who I think are going to take a quarterback, but Trent Williams getting up there in age. It's a stopgap after Joe Staley retired. You got McGlinchey there already. I think that's a pretty formidable big duo in the trenches there.
Yeah, I just updated my board today, and I moved him up a little bit from when we last did it. He's up to 17 for me. He's now tackle 3. Had Alex Leatherwood actually slipping a little bit after maybe not the best performance the other day. We talked about that a little bit. But, yeah, in terms of team fit, I think I want to see these more athletic guys get into those zone blocking schemes. I like the Niners. I think the Vikings is kind of interesting. Maybe he starts out as a guard. He's a little undersized maybe. So I don't know for certain. But, one of those teams that are particularly good at scheming run blocking, might be a good fit for him. In terms of comp, I took a while on that one, and we generally do with linemen because like we've never played O-line, none of us have. We're all without athletes. So
Cue the tweet.
I said Laramie Tunsil because honestly, I just kind of like the idea of both of those guys. To me, Cosmi and Tunsil are awkward, but they get the job done, and Max just mentioned this thing about his hands placement maybe being a little too wide, which can lead to holding calls sometimes to the next level. Tunsil, big penalties guy. So maybe Cosmi could be
big fan of penalties.
Doesn't show up in analytics, by the way. Penalties are not part of the measurement, so you won't see that in his PFF grade from last year, which was good. But Cosmi may have some of those issues at the next level, perhaps.
Nick, you mentioned OT3. Who's number 2 for you right now? Is it Darisaw?
It is Darisaw, yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah. For
Max
me,
Max is just spoiling future content for the fun of it, right?
well, I mean, I'm sure viewers will hear that.
You already put it on big board.
But who else is there? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's close for me, but Cosmi is my number 2 offensive tackle behind Sewell and right above Christian Darisaw from Virginia Tech. In our big board, which you can see on our line, of course, he was number 15 on my board, and behind Darisaw, he's going to move up past Darisaw as of right now.
Hey, listen, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, man.
I just want to pat ourselves on the back here for being some of the only people on the internet acknowledging that there's going to be another top 15 tackle because a lot of people are not currently acknowledging that, and it's going to happen.
True.
I
And
love
not just like 4 edge rushers in the first 10 picks.
Yeah, come on.
Look, the athletic traits, production are top notch for me. He'll be ready to start week 1 in the NFL. Like you guys mentioned, excellent in pass protection, good run blocker, not great. Just needs to add some strength to the next level. I see a lot of Anthony Costanzo in him next level. Similar size. Anthony was 6'7", 311. Also very athletic, like Cosmi. Excellent pass protector who's good, not great in the run game. And also, he had similar power and hand placement concerns coming out of Boston College. But he's had a great career in the NFL for the Colts. Team fit. I'd like to see him in Miami. I despised that Austin Jackson pick in this first round, and he has not looked good. But even if you want to keep,
we're not quitting on a 20-year-old.
I'm not quitting on him yet. But I'm saying even if you want to keep him at one of the tackle spots, you still need another tackle, and they don't really have anyone else at the other tackle spot. Put Cosmi and Austin Jackson there. That could be a really athletic tackle duo. And Miami's currently number 11 right now from that Houston trade. So I think Cosmi fit great in Miami.
So all comes back full circle. Look at us. Folks.
It all comes back
full circle.
It all comes back.
Nice job, guys.
They write themselves.
So that's all we got on Samuel Cosmi, who we all really like. He's opted out of the rest of the season and declared for the draft. Of course, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow our Twitter and Instagram at Boom or Bust Draft. And where would you take Samuel Cosmi in the 2021 draft? Also, please comment who you want to see us do a scouting report on next, or what video you want to see us do next, honestly. Again, please like and subscribe below and check out our website below as well. So for PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.